Hello YouTube! I'm Darkest101 and welcome to Darkest101 Reviews. Well guys, welcome to my first review. Like I said in my advert, I'm going to be reviewing games, TV shows, movies, and well, I decided why not start with a video game. Speaking of which, what do you think of when you hear the words video game? I mean, aside from the obvious console war. If you're like me, then you think of the characters that we were introduced to through those video games. The characters who have since become the faces of their respective franchises, the faces of their own respective consoles even. You know the likes, Lara Croft, Ratchet and Clank, Mario, Link, all those characters. But today I'm going to talk about a game whose central character is a lot more sly. God, that joke sucked. If you didn't get it, it's Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, also known as Sly Raccoon. This game came out in about September 2002 for PS2 and has recently been re-released on PSN, or PlayStation Network. And it's easy to see why. The game is just cool. So guys, what are we waiting for? Let's get right into this review. The game opens kind of in the middle of things, as we see our protagonist, Sly Cooper, a master raccoon thief, is seen running across the rooftops of Paris. Sly, using his ninja-like free-running skills, is able to reach the rooftop of Paris Police headquarters. We then introduce Bentley the Turtle and Murray the Hippo, Sly's partners in crime. Bentley is your stereotypical techie sidekick, and Murray is your stereotypical muscle-bound moron you get on the school playground. So anyway, through poor exposition, we discover that Sly is required to find the office of Inspector Carmelita Fox and steal a case file from within. Sly finds the office and breaks in through the window, and steals the contents of a safe, with Bentley's assistance of course. But Sly has to look out, as we then meet Inspector Fox. You know, as soon as she appeared, a furry is touching themselves inappropriately. Carmelita then goes to shoot Sly, but he nimbly avoids the shot blasts that were going absolutely nowhere near him. Seriously, my greasy-haired grandma could shoot better, and she's blind. Carmelita's near god-awful aim allows Sly to slip into the back of the flamboyant team van. Yeah, that makes a nice change from the usual discreet black getaway car. Huh. No, we shouldn't knock it. After all, that's the perfect mode of transportation to escape the police. A bright blue van with your face on it. Yeah, I could see that getting past the fucking police. Hell, the only thing even more discreet could have been this. Or maybe this. Or maybe, to make sure they never get caught, ever, they could ride this. We discover that Sly comes from a long line of master raccoon thieves, the Cooper family. We also discover that the police file not only contains information on Sly, but on a villainous team known as the Fiendish Five. The group had apparently murdered Sly's father when he was just a child, and had taken a book chronicling the Cooper family throughout the ages, the Thievius Raccoonus. They divided this book into 5 pieces, and each member took a piece of the book and set out to commit dastardly crimes across the globe. So, from the police file, they select the first member of the Fiendish Five, Sir Raleigh the Frog.
As a young man, this hot-tempered frog grew bored of his life of luxury and privilege. On a whim, he tried his hand at a bit of piracy and found it to his liking.
It's at this point I have to mention that the levels, or episode, in the game don't work together as a seamless sort of narrative until the 5th episode. So I'll give you the shortened version. Each of the first 4 levels has 7 stages, each of which has a treasure key. In order to advance from part 1 of the level to part 2, you have to gain 4 of these treasure keys, and then you have to get 3 more to reach the boss fight with the respective Fiendish Five member. Now, Raleigh's evil scheme was to create a storm machine so his ships would sink and drop their precious cargo from Raleigh to collect. Somehow I don't think that that's going to be in the Thievius Raccoonus. The Codex in Assassin's Creed? Quite possibly, but then again, this is in Assassin's Creed. So Sly shoots himself out of a cannon and somehow, not managing to break any bones, comes face to face with Raleigh inside the saw machine. Okay, why is there so much water inside a machine? It is a machine, it's not an aquarium. Anyway, I should also add that the boss fights in this game are rather anticlimactic. So after Sly beats Raleigh, he breaks open the safe with the pages of the Thievius Raccoonus inside, which have the techniques and history of Ryuichi Cooper, a master thief from feudal Japan. The main technique that Sly gains from these pages is the ninja spire jump, the ability to land on small points. That's useless if you ask me. Not the technique itself, the fact that they wrote it down. I mean, landing on tiny points isn't exactly a technique you learn from reading a book. It's something you learn yourself through experience, trial and error, that shit. So, Sly and the gang roll up to Mesa City in Utah to confront the next member of the Fiendish Five, Mugshot.
He grew up as the run of the litter, a neighborhood weakling. The only friends he could turn to were usually found on the big screen. It was there that he spotted his first gangster, and he knew instantly that that's what he wanted to be.
Good to know his parents supported this dream, right? And didn't try to convince him not to take a life of crime? What good parenting! Well, after we go through the 7 stages again and get all 7 treasure keys, we face off against Mugshot. Mugshot himself is anatomically incorrect, which is my way of saying big! I mean, seriously, he walks on his fists and has the shortest legs ever. Explain this, evolution! Mugshot himself is surrounded by diamonds, for some apparent reason, and Sly has to reflect light through each of them. As the heat intensifies, they melt through Mugshot's guns, yet they never seem to make a dent in Sly's cane. The heat, of course, burns Mugshot's hands, and thus this is how you wound him. Because, you know, charging a 2-ton bulldog isn't the smartest move. Oh, yeah, and while all this is going on, Mugshot is shooting at you with the biggest guns you will ever see in the... Well, not the biggest guns if you ever play Call of Duty, but they're still pretty big. After beating Mugshot, we get his section of the Thievius Raccoonus, which contains the entries of Tennessee Kid Cooper, master thief from the Old West. That was the worst Texan accent you will ever hear. So, the rail walk and the rail slide are techniques that Tennessee wrote down and used to slide and walk along railway tracks, and in turn allowed Sly to traverse other such railings. Again, I have to point out that this is something Sly could have learnt on his own. Sly and the gang then head to Haiti to find Miss Ruby, a crocodile who was born into a family of mystics. With her voodoo power, she helped the Fiendish Five do all sorts of vile crimes as payback for everyone fearing her as a child. Most recently, she's been cooking up an army of ghosts or zombies or something. I'm not sure. None of the Fiendish Five have schemes to even remotely tie back to the Thievius Raccoonus. It's like we assumed they took the Thievius Raccoonus to make themselves better criminals, but no. They're just going on doing what they did before. Why steal it in the first place? So again, 7 levels, 7 keys, and we find ourselves against Miss Ruby. Well, I thought Mugshot was odd, but Ruby is even weirder. She bounces on her tail all the time and spouts nothing but some gypsy crap. Plus her lines take about a year, a piece to complete.
I could feel that Cooper vibe a-coming. Most distastefully bad juju.
Annoying. Very annoying. So Ruby has to turtle Chumley, bring Sly towards her over a river of slime. However, she sends some blasts of voodoo towards Sly, which he has to dodge. This, as Sly put it, is kinda like Voodoo Simon Says. Okay, you know when I said the boss fights are anticlimactic? The same is true here, except this boss fight is hard as balls to beat. I mean, you can spend hours here just trying to win, and with just one mistake, it's all over. That's just fucking irritating. However, even when you beat Miss Ruby, it takes her forever to finish one fucking line.
You certainly got some rhythm, Raccoon. But it won't help you none if you're fixing to go after the Panda King.
Hurry the fuck up, bitch! So, the section of the Thievius Raccoon is reclaimed from Miss Ruby possesses the information on Slight and Carmen. In ancient Egypt, he used the ability to turn invisible to steal from the corrupt. Finally! A technique Sly couldn't pick up on his own. I'm sorry I keep mentioning that, but it just gets to me. Okay, so our next major enemy is the Panda King.
Born penniless, he was fascinated by the fireworks rich noblemen set off every New Year's. He spent a decade learning the art. But when he tried to offer his fireworks to the noblemen, they couldn't see past his shabby clothes and chased him away. Humiliated, the Panda King took revenge on those who shunned him by using the very tools of his art for crime.
What a charming man! Okay, 7 keys as per usual, and we are confronted with the Panda King. So yeah, the Panda King's evil scheme is to extortionate money from the villagers as he buries them in avalanches. What a charming man! Also, I find it a bit harsh that we have to beat up an endangered species. Well, so long as we hit him in the eyes, no one will notice, right? I mean, he's a panda. They're already fucking black. So, Sly kicks stuffing out of him, and we get the 4th section of the Thievius Raccoonus. This section comes from Sly Cooper, who was a technician, so we don't actually get any new techniques from him. No, we get something a lot better. We get new designs for the team van. Really? Really? We're upgrading the van at this late stage of the game? 4 levels in, and now the van is suddenly such an important aspect that we dedicate an entire section of the Thievius Raccoonus to its upgrade?
We were on our way to the Krakara volcano in Russia. While looking over what little information I had on the final member of the Fiendish Five, I began to notice something. In the 4 parts of the Thievius Raccoonus recovered so far, several of the pictures depict a shadowy owl-like figure, which looks very similar to the police images of the mysterious clockwork.
Yeah, even Sly and Carmen had a picture taken in ancient fucking Egypt. That's just fucking stupid. So anyway, like I said earlier, this level does come together with events stacking on top of each other in a linear fashion. Finally, I was getting bored of repeating the same shit 4 times over. We start up by driving up to Clockwork's lair, Sly literally riding shotgun, blowing away mines and Clockwork's evil robo-falcons. Bentley says that Clockwork's base of operations is not a tower, but actually a giant death ray.
That's no tower, it's a giant death ray!
So, after our little drive, we reach the cavern beneath Clockwork's death ray. Hanging from above are 119 computer nodes, which we could have easily shot down, but Murray's stupidity cost us a turret. I'm so glad we dedicated an entire section of the book we've been trying to recover to this upgrade only to get rid of it straight away. Thank you, turret. I will not miss you. Anyway, they have to drive into the nodes to fall, as well as keeping the lava slugs off of them. They need 60 to get through the door into the next chamber, and of course they get 60 just in time. Not really much of a level, I guess, but I think they just want to hang on to the van as much as possible, seeing as how they dedicated a whole portion to Thievius Raccoonus for its upgrade. The next chamber is the control room of Clockwork's death ray, and it turns out Clockwork managed to capture Carmelita and put her up as bait for Sly to try and rescue. Wait, what? She's a police officer, for crap's sake! How the hell did she end up getting kidnapped? Actually, I don't want to know. Sly traverses the control room of death in order to get a barrel to use as a disguise and rescue Carmelita. Seriously? He managed to get through all of those booby traps set by Clockwork and reach Carmelita with a barrel. A barrel is what thwarts the security system? A fucking barrel? Talk about a lapse in security. Carmelita initially blames Sly for her kidnapping, but Clockwork traps Sly in a glass and filters poison gas into his cell, claiming that
empathy has always been the downfall of the Cooper clan.
Who says his "I told you so" for later, hacks into Clockwork's system and sets about saving Sly from the glass. Yes, folks, they dedicated just one level for this. One measly, unnecessary segment of the game just so Bentley wouldn't be useless. Thanks to Bentley's hacking skills, Sly is saved and Carmelita says sorry. Sly breaks her out of her cage and the two go merrily off to, I don't know, kill each other all over again? Actually, no. After that, Sly and Carmelita form a truce to beat Clockwork, but a Robo-Falcon steals Sly's cane. Basically what happens here then is Carmelita covers Sly as he climbs the tower to retrieve the cane. They're pulling out all the stops here, aren't they, just to make sure none of these characters turn out to be pointless. In his rush, however, to get his cane back, the Death Ray Tower starts to fall apart, meaning that the only way for Sly to survive is to get the jetpack set on top of the Death Ray. With the tower sinking into the lava, Sly has to climb fast, but of course he makes it to the jetpack just in time. Sly takes off, and out of the gloom emerges Clockwork. Really? That's Clockwork? That thing is like an animatronic Hedwig. This thing is meant to be menacing? Really? Ronald McDonald was more terrifying! So, Sly and Clockwork have a little banter about their family histories. Clockwork, as we already kinda guessed, is apparently immortal. He has been keeping himself alive on
The steady diet of jealousy and hate.
that. So, after some more ridiculous banter, we get to partake in an aerial battle. Carmelita shoots gaps into Clockwork's armor, and Sly drills in the pain. So, this boss fight seems apparently really easy to beat, but like most horror movies, it's when you think that the franchise is dead that it comes back. And even more ridiculous than ever. Sly wonders why Clockwork didn't kill him when he killed his father. Clockwork explains that he wanted to show the world that without the Thievius Raccoonus, the Cooper family were nothing. Sly counters that the Thievius Raccoonus doesn't make great thieves, but rather it takes great thieves to make the Thievius Raccoonus. Clockwork just then flips his lid and says he will kill Sly and make him the only master thief left in the world. Seriously, Clockwork, I can't see how a giant mechanical bird like yourself can be a thief, let alone a master thief. I mean, you're not exactly the most subtle of characters, are you? One more aerial battle later, and Clockwork goes into the lava again, only this time broken and in pieces. Just like my relationships. Sly drops down and decks Clockwork's face until he's certain that the bird is dead. Or at least suffers from severe brain damage. So, Sly escapes Carmelita by handcuffing her to a railing. The Fiendish Five are behind bars except for Clockwork, who is apparently, emphasis on apparently, dead. And that's Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. It's cool, I guess, when you're actually playing it, but when you look back on it and really think about what you just played, you're like, that had some major flaws in it. But then again, this game was released in 2002. It was also Sucker Punch's second game to launch, so I guess we can forgive them this time as they were just developing their style. All in all, this game is worth buying in the end. Okay guys, so here's what I'm going to do. After each review, I'm going to rate whatever I've just reviewed out of 101. This is what's going to be known as the dark rating. 1 is less than rubbish, you shouldn't even consider buying it. 50 is worth the money, but it's not exactly perfect. And 101 is just fucking incredible. So, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus dark rating is about 56. To be honest. And that's my first review. And that's my first review. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any suggestions for something you want reviewing, please drop it in the comment section below and I'll try and see what I can do about it. No Xbox or 360 review requests, please. I don't own either console, but as soon as I do, I'll let you guys know. Also guys, if you want to see someone who actually knows what he's doing review films and movies so obscure you'll probably never even hear of them again, you should check out the Film Corner with the Steampunk Kid 0079. His link's in the comment, in the description, I mean. He's a really talented guy, he's a close friend of mine, and I just feel like I should promote him a little bit, so just check him out.